We're not against rap. We're not against rappers. But we are against those.
Something big about to happen. I hear the beat tapping. We some fly rhyming felines rapping on the track. Better yet, grab a gat, cause we hot like Enzo. Doors closed, windows up, cause that's the way we like to ride. Windy City hitting. Check mic 1 2 1 2. We live, baby. What's up, y'all, and welcome back to another episode of Speak Your Mind Radio. I'm your hostess with the mostest, Miss Hip Hop, aka Queen Star. And today we are doing things a bit different. I'm introducing different individuals from the podcast community because, basically, we are the next wave of radio hosts. So, with that being said, I would like to welcome my fellow podcaster, David, here today, who is the host of The Morning Drive. What's up, David?
Hey, how you doing now?
I'm good, and you?
Doing good. Thank you for having me on.
For sure. Okay, well, David, I like to start off all my interviews and episodes with an icebreaker question.
Man, I knew this was coming. Go ahead.
Oh, okay. Well, anyway.
Oh, no. I want to. I was like, I know she's going to ask me an icebreaker question. Go ahead.
Okay. Where was your last vacation spot?
Oh, that's easy. That's Florida. I went down to, I can't remember where the hell it was, but it was right there on the panhandle of Florida.
Okay, that sounds nice. Okay.
It was hot as hell.
I bet.
But it was nice.
How long ago was this?
Last summer.
Wow, that's so nice. So nice. Like, you got a chance to travel before all this shit broke out.
You ain't kidding. I mean, we were talking about, because for the past few years, we've all went to North Carolina and stayed on the beach over there in a little place called Ocean Isle Beach, North Carolina, South Carolina. Hell, I can't tell the difference. But it was, it's nice and cool out there. And then we decided to go to Florida last year, and I didn't like it. It's too hot. It rained half the time we were there. And so we were like, okay, well, we're going to go back to North Carolina this summer. Well, I don't think we're probably going to be able to go because,
Yeah, a lot of us not going to be able to go anywhere for a while. So that's why I said it, it's kind of good that you got a chance to get to go to Florida before everything happened. Okay, so David, tell the listeners what city you're broadcasting out of and what your podcast is all about.
Well, I'm out of a little small town in Tennessee called Pulaski. Mm-hmm. It's right there on the Alabama line. It's a really little small town. But the show I do it's called The Morning Drive because it started out as I started doing it on my drive to work. And so you get the car noise and all that stuff going on. And then I started getting people that wanted to come on the show. And then I really couldn't do a show, with somebody in my car.
Mm-hmm.
So I started, I got set up. I started doing interviews on the computer and stuff like that. And that's pretty much where it starts now is, you'll still get, my morning drive sometimes. If I got something on my mind I want to talk about, then, I'll put it out there. But I do a lot of interviews. Like just yesterday, I interviewed a presidential hopeful, a candidate. And that was interesting. I've never had anybody running for president before on my daggone show, but hey, it was pretty fun.
That's cool. Who was it?
His name is Mark Whitney. He was running in the Libertarian Party.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, I mean, and that's another thing is, for the most part, my podcast tends to be a little political.
Right.
But I do like to have other guests on that aren't political. I've had musicians on before. I've had I can't remember everybody I've had on, but I've had people that we didn't have politics involved on before, so it was pretty cool. I like to keep it that way because I don't want to just focus in on one little major group. I like to pay attention to that group, but I like to stray out and especially like I kind of like you do, where you bring in artists and stuff that aren't like big name artists. They might be big in the underground,
right,
or big in their little area. and you try to give them a little more exposure, and that's what I do. I do that with, you know, different people that have, you know, different artists, and sometimes different people that just start a podcast. I like to bring them on. You know, if I'm digging their podcast, I'll bring them on and get them to kind of just talk about the podcast a little bit.
Exactly, and that is what you do. Okay, before we really get into everything, I just want to inform everyone that David is the author behind my intro to Speak Your Mind Radio. So thank you, David, for making such a dope sound to start off the show today.
You're very welcome. I was pretty honored that you asked me to do that.
Yeah, you killed it, man. You straight up killed it. Everybody, as you know, asking me like, "Oh, it's a dope intro." I'm like, "Thank you."
I like it because it's your music, you know.
Yeah, it's definitely my music, and the spin that you put on it. It reminds me of my first studio I went to. His name was Gary, and he really always put his spin on each and every track that I made, and that's what made it special for me. So yeah, thank you again.
You're welcome. You're very welcome.
Okay, so I have to ask you, like, what influenced the name of your show? Because, like, for me, it's like a very laid back title, because I believe people can relate to it, like just like sitting in their car and listening to your show.
Well, that's pretty much what it was. When I first started it, I knew the only place I could do it, because I got a big family and there's not much quiet alone time, and the only alone time I really had was in the car in the morning. And I said, well, I can do a show, you know, and I can do it in the mornings, because I've always been a fan of podcasts. And I was like, you know, I could do that, you know, and I guess I'm doing it. So
yeah, you definitely are doing it.
So,
definitely.
And that's what got it. I don't know. I just thought, you know what? I'm doing it during my morning drive. I might as well call it the morning drive. And I mean, it's pretty simple. And I was like, and I didn't want to have a very, you know, it's kind of like with your title, you know, Speak Your Mind.
Right.
It's not very targeted. It's not limiting your podcast based on the name of it, you know?
Exactly.
And that's kind of, and at first, and to be honest, when I first started, because most of my episodes, a lot of people that use Anchor know what I'm talking about, but I accidentally deleted my entire library.
I remember you said that.
Yeah, so it wiped every episode out, and so I had to start all over. And I think I just did an episode 110, where
10 episodes since 100. Damn.
So I've had, you know, I had probably about 50 or so episodes before the first one you'll see. And the very first one, I talked about how I didn't really want to focus on politics. And that's the reason why I called it The Morning Drive, because I knew it might end up going back being political, because that's just, I guess, my nature.
Yeah.
But I wanted to focus on other things too. And that's pretty much why I named it the way I named it.
Wow. That's pretty interesting. Crap. Okay. So, okay. What would you, well, actually, I want to talk about everything that's going on. So, with the outbreak of the coronavirus, how is this affecting your ability to create new episodes? I mean, what are some of the pros and cons now that everyone is staying at home?
Well, the pros is that it's easier for me to get people on now, because they're not going nowhere.
Exactly.
And it's like, you know, most people that were working during this time, or they were doing stuff, and they're like, well, I'm not doing nothing. So, because I usually do my show either in the morning, or, you know, usually that's just with me, or I'll do it on my lunch break like I am now, or I'll do it in the evening time, you know, after the kids go to bed.
Mm-hmm.
And a lot of people are like, well, I can't do it, you know, during the afternoon when I can on my lunch break. But now they seem to, their time seems to be a little more freed up because they're staying at home. So that helps out. But as far as content, it's killing my content. Because mostly I focused on current events.
Right.
And the only current event I have right now is this damn coronavirus. It's everywhere.
So true.
you can only talk about it so many times. I mean, I can get on different theories, you know, what I think about it and all this crap, but I mean, still, there's not. I mean, but because of the way my nature is, when I see everybody focus and all the news focus on this coronavirus, that gets me looking everywhere else.
Right.
You know, not paying attention to my Facebook, not paying attention to the news, and paying attention to what, because I am political, it makes me pay attention to what my government's doing. And I'm seeing some shady shit they're doing. And so I've been talking a little bit about that, but not too much. I don't have much time to dig into it, but it's hard now, especially with nothing going on. There's nothing going on, nothing to talk about. It's hard to do.
That is so true. Those are good pros and cons set apart, because it's like, yeah, you only got one thing to talk about, since your podcast is centered around who you are. When you didn't want to talk about politics at first, and look where it's at now, you're still talking about it, you know?
Oh, yeah.
Mm-hmm. Definitely. So, can I get past that?
No, I really can't.
Okay, so what would you say has been the best piece of advice that's been given to you surrounding your show, David?
Oh, wow. I've been getting a lot of advice. One of them was don't limit your demographic. Don't, I've noticed that, especially on like Instagram and stuff, I get a lot of younger followers.
Yeah.
And I've been on some newer podcasts where, you know, the crowd is pretty much younger than I am. And I didn't want to focus just towards the younger group. I didn't want to focus towards my age. And I kind of like the younger group because of where my politics and my show goes around. It's a lot of younger people that are getting more involved.
Yeah, definitely. I can agree.
I like that. It makes me very hopeful for the future.
That's right.
I mean, the generation right after mine pretty much didn't give a shit. You know?
That's so true. That is so true.
But the best piece of advice I've gotten besides that was, I guess, probably to don't censor your guests.
You said don't censor your guests?
Correct.
Right.
There have been times that, you know, I've been on a couple of shows or had people on my shows that I'm like, you know, just watch your language. I want this to be a family-friendly thing or whatever. But that doesn't let them be who they are.
That's
and
true.
I can censor myself if I want to, but I don't think I don't censor anybody else. They can say whatever the hell they want to.
Right.
I'm going to censor them.
Well, those are two good pieces of advice that you got, because I actually like that. Don't limit your demographic and don't censor your guests. I mean, the podcast broadcasting is different from the radio broadcasting. You know, you can't say certain things on the radio. Podcast, you can. There's no limit to what you can or cannot do. I can take a song off the radio without having to worry about copyright, so to speak, like as if I was on YouTube and I had to get permission to use that song, you know?
Yeah, it's not really that big of it. I looked into that because there were some episodes I was using like some, you know, copyrighted content, you know, somebody's song. And I found where a lot of people run into problems is if they make money off of that episode, that can cause them to have some problems. But I mean, that's why sometimes I'll try to reach out to people and say, hey, can I use this song or whatever? But for the most part, it's not. They don't really pay attention to podcasts that much because it's not really, you know, it's not like you're making a shit ton of money off of their song. You're making money off your episode.
Right. Exactly.
But I did want to tell you about something though, because the thing about it is podcasting isn't regulated by the FCC yet.
Right.
And the reason why I say yet is because now they're starting to refer to podcasters and the like as citizen journalists.
Really?
Which I do not like, because then they're going to end up saying that, well, since you're a journalist, you need a journalist license. And right now I love it because it's not regulated at all. You can say whatever the hell you can do whatever you want to do. But the moment, because that's my biggest fear, is that people are going to look at podcasting to get their news, which honestly, that's where I get my news. I get my news from a handful of podcasts.
Mm-hmm.
And the moment they start calling them journalists, I'm afraid that the government's going to step in and try to regulate, make them get a podcast license.
What?
I mean, yeah, I'm not kidding. That's one of my biggest fears about podcasting is once people start turning away from TV, turning away from the newspaper,
right.
They're going to start lobbying the government to try to get them to get some kind of, official approval that they can broadcast. And that's I like this is kind of like pirate radio,
You said powder radio?
Pirate radio.
Pirate. Oh, okay. Like,
yeah. Like, yeah. Because, that's what they used to do. You used to set up a little setup in your house and broadcast over the waves. And as long as you stay below a certain frequency, it really wouldn't bother you because you wasn't reaching out there. But podcasting, you can listen to it all over the world. And that's what, that's just me, being me and saying that, I'm not big on government regulation. And that's what I have a feeling we're going to be seeing after a while, because this platforms like Anchor and stuff,
mm-hmm.
you can let anybody podcast. There's a ton of them out there, so it's got me watching and seeing what they're going to be doing about it anyway. Sorry, I went on a little.
No, I'm learning from you. This is why you're on here.
I went on a little tinfoil hat rant.
That's funny. Let me ask you a question about what you just said. And how long do you think that that they'll, before they regulate shit?
To be honest, the one thing I'm looking out for is actually scaring me a little bit is seeing news organizations and radio talk show hosts that are starting to have podcasts now. And because I know a couple of talk show hosts, they say, hey, check out our podcast, and you'll have different radio news stations, like TV stations, that'll be like, if you want more of this, more information on this, check out our podcast. And I'm like, y'all don't need to be podcasting. This ain't for y'all. Y'all got the TV. Y'all stay with the TV, because next thing you know, they're going to be saying, well, now since we're podcasting and we got a journalist license or a broadcast license, then I think everybody should have a broadcast license. So I can only imagine unless we fight against it, I can see, because I want to say in the past year, podcasting has gotten big.
Yeah, I agree with you.
And it grew quick. So
right.
I can see probably, if we don't fight, I would say within 5 years, everybody need a license. That would be me. And don't hold me to it, because I'm not Notre Dameist, but that's what I'm feeling. It bothers me a little bit.
That bothers me too, because you said don't hold you to it when you said 5 years. I actually believe it'll be a lot sooner based off what you said.
It wouldn't surprise me.
And the reason why I said that is because if you dealt with YouTube before, you've known that they've changed their rules and regulations also.
Oh yeah, big time.
And I believe that came from the fact that, yes, everyone has turned their backs on, not turned their backs on it, but they turned away from TV, started watching YouTube as their TV. Got reality shows on there from people that blog daily about their life. You have people who, issue out news, from all over the world. You have music on there. So what I'm starting to see is a bunch of celebrities getting on YouTube, having their own YouTube channel. Like, look at me do my makeup. Oh my God. Like some dumb stuff or whatever. It's like, no, stop. Don't come over here. Stay over there in your money bag world. You know what I'm saying? And let us have this. Let us entrepreneurs have this, please. Like, get out of our pockets. I don't want to give you my money.
They know. I mean, well, see, that's the only issue. I have no problem with people getting on YouTube. Like, say you had, some famous person get on YouTube making money. That's fine with me. I'm all about people making as much money as they possibly can.
Mm-hmm.
But it's when the government starts saying, well, now you got to meet these certain criteria for you to be able to do it.
Right.
And I'm
that's
like,
the
well,
problem.
Yeah, I mean, well, I know this is a little off topic, but I'll bring it around to it. It's like vaping.
Mm-hmm.
People would stop vaping. People stopped smoking, started vaping, and then it started taking money away from not only the tobacco companies, but it started taking money away from the government too.
Yeah.
And they didn't like that. And I mean, hell, anybody could make their own, vape liquid. Anybody could.
Right.
And you can make money. There's a way for a small startup to make some money. And then they got enough lobbying from the tobacco industry that they started pressuring the government to put, regulations on it. And I mean, at the time they were wanting you to buy a license for every flavor at every nicotine level. Like, that's a lot of money that a lot of startups can't do. So it shut a lot of people down.
Mm-hmm.
And they ended up monopolizing the vape community. I mean, granted, I'm glad people fought against it. People in the government see that, that's not a good way to go. But I mean, I just see that the way it is, the same thing with podcasts. And they start seeing people making money off of podcasts, making money off of YouTube, and it's cutting in, you're taking other people's audience. They're going to be like, well, we can't do that. So they're going to start pressuring the government to put more regulations on us.
That's definitely what happened. And I don't look forward to the regulations coming for the podcasters.
Oh, no, I'll fight that tooth and nail.
I know that's right. And I'll be right there by your side. Yes. David, as a podcaster, how do you believe the thoughts and the requests of your listeners play into the episodes that you develop?
A ton. I want feedback. I've got a couple of people that, they'll tell me, I love the show today, great show today, stuff like that. And, I've had people tell me things that I might be doing wrong and try to fix it out. So that's the reason why I try to talk a little louder, because they noticed that my voice wasn't as loud as my guest.
Interesting.
So they would have it turned up to hear me, but then my guest starts speaking and they'd be blowing their ears out. So I try to fix that. I try to fix topics. They're some people like the interviews, some people like my in-car, thoughts and rants and whatnot. So, I started doing both, and some people are like, well, I don't really care for the interviews because they're so long. So that's the reason why I do what I do. I do both.
Right.
But yeah, you got to listen to your listeners. You have to. Otherwise, that's why you're there. You're not there to hear your own voice.
No.
Yeah. And you're there you want to give them what they want. Now, I'm not going to chicken dance. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
But, if they say, hey, I want to hear about this topic or something, then I'll look into it. I'll look into it and I'll talk about that. Or how do you feel about this? And I'll tell them how I feel about that. I mean, yeah, you have to listen to your audience.
Yeah, I totally agree with that. You have to listen to your audience. They're there for a reason. They're listening to you for a reason. And feedback is very important for podcasters and anybody composing or making art.
Exactly.
Now I know we talked about the podcast industry growing amongst people. So what advice could you give to anyone wanting to start their own podcast?
One is to do it.
Right.
That's my first advice. Anybody saying, man, I don't really want to pull the trigger on it yet, I want to wait. I mean, no, just do it. Get your voice out there.
Right.
I mean, there's one that they just uploaded their first episode, and this morning I downloaded it. And I mean, just like any new podcast, it's raw. It's it's not refined. My first ones, sucked. And
me too.
And I mean, but that's things you learn as you go. The more you do it, the better it'll sound. And you just gotta get yourself out there. And always, the thing that I've learned to help you grow an audience is to be interactive. If you be on social media,
that's right.
Talk to people.
Talk to them, not at them.
Exactly. And you know, if they send you a message, answer them back. Don't be thinking you know, take a minute, send them a message back, and because once you start thinking you're too big or you too,
no.
I hate that when I message somebody and I'm, you know, even if they wait, you know, they're busy at the moment and it's about 5 or 6 hours later they answer me back, fine. But it's when I sit there and I know they ain't even answer me a week later.
Oh, hell no.
I'm like, dude, come on, you're not that big.
You're not. I
mean, even the president better answer me. If I send a message to Donald Trump and he don't answer me, I don't think he's a piece of shit. So
funny. That is so true, though. I hear you on that one. I definitely do.
And whenever they see you reacting to other people and not ignoring them, then that actually helps you grow your audience. It makes you look attractive to people.
Well, it makes you look fucking down to earth and humble and shit. Feel me? Hey, you're a normal person. Yeah. Ain't nobody got time for that. Get your head up out your ass, you know?
Oh, yeah. Oh, and another thing I'll give any kind of new podcaster out there.
Mm-hmm.
Don't be fake.
Yeah, uh-huh.
Don't try to be somebody you're not, because you're going to have to try to be that person every time you're behind that mic. Yeah,
that's so true.
I mean,
that's so true.
And yeah, somebody can listen to my voice, and sometimes I sound redneck as hell. And sometimes they'll be like, man, sometimes you sound like you grew up in the bayous of Louisiana, and sometimes you sound like you grew up in the, you know, the project houses of Bronx.
Dang.
And I'm like, well, that's just who I am. I mean, I've always been a chameleon, you know.
I like that.
I've always been able to blend in with different cliques, and that's like people look at me and they listen to me, that they don't think I know Master P. You know?
Right. I was just thinking about that, your source of music. Yeah.
I mean, but I'm not ever claiming to be, you know, about that life. You know, I'm not a gangster, you know, but I'm also not, you know, a tractor riding country boy either.
Right, exactly. There's different layers to you.
Yeah, I'm just me. Right now I'm wearing a Avengers shirt, you know. So,
that's so funny. Okay, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off.
No, that was about it. I don't have a stereotype that I belong to, so I try to stay away from that.
Exactly. You know, I hear a lot of different people say they don't know how to get the word out when they are creating episodes after episodes. So what would you say are the best ways to start promotions?
I'm trying to think. I would say, one, find you a podcast community.
Right.
There's pages on Facebook for podcasters. There's pages on Instagram. Join those. Learn from other podcasters. Start your own. You know, it's one thing to have your own personal Facebook or Instagram page or whatever, Twitter page, to start one for your show. And I mean, I to be honest with you, I interact more on my show's Instagram page than I do anything else.
Mm-hmm.
And also have people on, talk to people, go on other shows. You know, I tried doing this in the beginning. I found out it's kind of a faux pas to try to, you know, push yourself on somebody else's show. You know, put it out there, like, publicly, that you're willing to go on other podcasts and stuff like that. And then maybe somebody will hit you up and be like, hey, you know, you want to come on my show? I'm looking for guests, you know, I'm trying to get started. And that's one way to do it. But me personally, I don't care. Somebody hits me up and be like, hey, man, do you mind if I come on your show? I don't care. Because I put that out there publicly that I want people on my show. I want to talk to different kinds of people. So yeah. I don't care if people message me, but I know there's some that be like, man, you don't just ask to come on somebody's show. I'm like, the hell with you then? You know?
Right, exactly. Why not?
But yeah, that's probably the best way to get out is, and just have good, solid content.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I've noticed that since I started this, my voice has gotten a whole lot clearer. People can understand me better. And because I had a bad problem mumbling.
I remember you told me that the first time.
Oh yeah, I sound like Boomhauer.
Oh God.
But I mean, I've learned how to enunciate better. So I mean, I've only know that's gotten better because my wife doesn't say "huh" to me half as much as she used to.
Oh.
I mean, it used to be she'd be like, "What?" and I'd mumble again. Slow down. Open your mouth. Speak your words. You know. And I'm like, damn it, I ain't got time for that. But
wow, that's effing funny because that's how people be like text messaging you real fast and you like they didn't mean to say that but you knew what they meant to say or whatever and you just respond.
Oh yeah, exactly. Like, hey, are you going to the cat to get some hamburgers?
What you say?
You
You went to the cat to get some what?
Like, are you even reading what the hell you're saying?
I'm telling you, I am freaking telling you, man.
But I do it all the time. I'll mistype something, and my wife will answer me back. She's like, "Did you mean to say?" You know what I meant.
And then you get mad because they didn't understand what you meant. Oh my God! Hallelujah! That's freaking funny. Okay. What was I gonna say to you? Okay, finally but not least, what would you like for your listeners to gain after hearing an episode of The Morning Drive?
Oh, wow. I would say information.
Uh-huh.
Sometimes I don't put the information out there. Sometimes it's just my thoughts.
Mm-hmm.
I would guess if I had to sum it up in some kind of word, it would be some kind of infotainment. I want you to be informed and entertained.
I like that. You said infotainment?
Yeah, infotainment.
Like information and entertainment put together.
Yes,
I like
exactly.
that.
You know, because I mean, I try to make it a little entertaining for people.
Yeah, you do.
Because I know that I listen to some podcasts that are straight up just facts and it's boring as hell.
Yeah.
But I know some that are overly entertaining to where it's almost hacky.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And I don't want to be that either. I just that's why I said, you know, just be yourself.
Right.
You know? Don't try to be.
Works.
Yeah, exactly. And that's the other thing too is that, you know, your first few episodes, you're not going to look on your downloads and be like, oh damn, I'm blowing up. You know, it's just not going to happen. I mean, it wasn't until probably about episode 60 or so that I really started, you know, and that's the thing about it too is look for guests, look for things that are going to grab attention, because I looked up one time and I got a guest on and she had a lot of influence. You know, she was well known, and I felt that I was lucky to have her on, and she came on, and I mean, it's not like we talked about something hard hitting. We just talked, and
right.
But she posted on her stuff, and then so more people started listening to me. And you know, of course, you're gonna find some of those. But okay, I'll go give them out. You know, she was on his show. I'll check him out. I don't like the rest of his show, so they're not gonna listen. But you will have some that will stay, and it's just don't get discouraged. I mean, because there are weeks that go by that I don't have nothing. You know, it come Thursday or Friday, and that's what they want to. They want consistency.
Yeah, they do.
And I've always said that I'm not going to have a scheduled release day or nothing like that. Like all my podcasts aren't coming out on Monday. So some people want that, to know that every Monday they're going to hear your voice. And the only thing I ever promised anybody was at least once a week you're going to hear me.
Right, that's what I said. Hell,
I mean, because Monday morning I might not feel right. I might not be, you know, feeling like I need to get out there. I ain't got nothing on my mind. I'm pissed off about something else that I don't want to talk about because it's personal, you know, something like that, you know, or I might be sick. And so, but I at least try to make sure by Thursday I got something out, because even if it's just me and an in-car rant explaining why I didn't put nothing out there, you know, talk to your audience. They want to know what's up.
Yeah, they do.
But you put that content out there. You got to put it out there. You got to, you know, be somewhat consistent. You know, don't go 2 weeks, 3 weeks without putting anything out, because people want to take you off your list.
Yeah, they are. People get bored easily, and so do I. So.
Oh yeah, I mean, there's podcasts that I used to listen to for years that, you know, like for instance, Joe Rogan. You know, I was I still am a fan of his, but he ain't on my list no more. It ain't because of nothing he did. It's because, you know, I found other podcasts and they're filling up, and he's not on Spotify. So, I mean, that's the podcast app I use. Make sure you're accessible to, that people can get to you. You know, if you just got your podcast on your website, your RSS feed, and it ain't going nowhere else, chances are ain't nobody gonna be listening.
Right, and that's a part of listening to the thoughts and feelings of your listeners. Like, you gotta change what they say so you can, you know, attract more audience.
Oh yeah, I mean, it's like people have been telling me, you know, are you available on this app? Are you available? And I hate plugging Anchor because, you know, it's but Anchor is like that. They put you everywhere.
Oh.
And it's really, I kind of like the platform. So I mean, I'm sticking with it. You know, it's cool.
Yeah, Anchor is very helpful for beginner podcasters because I always say it takes the middle man out of having to physically go to each and every other platform and submit your podcast and then having to wait to get it approved, you know? Yeah,
it's kind of like they're your agent.
Yeah, exactly. I
like that. I like that a lot.
So do I. Okay, so what was I gonna say to you? All right, so I'm gonna end this episode off with some fun questions, aka random questions. You ready, David?
Shoot away. I'm ready.
All right. Favorite movie?
Oh crap. That's a really hard one, man. It's really hard. The one movie I could probably watch over and over and over again and never, ever, ever get bored, Tropic Thunder.
Tropic Thunder.
Yes.
What's that about?
It's got Jack Black, Robert Downey Jr.
I like him.
Oh, yeah. Well, no. He plays an Australian dude, right?
Cool.
That plays a black man making a movie.
Oh, my God. What?
Like he plays an actor. Okay, and it's a movie about a movie being made. It's weird, but he's an actor that's actually Australian, but they do some kind of skin thing, make him look like a black dude,
Lord.
And he plays a black dude. I mean, it's hilarious. You got to watch it. If you hadn't seen it, look Tropic Thunder up. It's been out for years, man. It is absolutely hilarious, and I can watch that movie over and over and over again because I'll never stop laughing. That and Talladega Nights with what's his name? I won't say Will Ferrell.
Oh, I love him now.
Yeah, I know. But as far as like good quality movie that you actually might get something out of, it's gonna sound kind of weird and not right, but it's me. I've always been a fan of Pinocchio.
Really?
I love Pinocchio.
That's interesting. Mm-hmm.
I like the message.
Me too.
I'm not that big on Disney, but
right.
I like that movie. I watched as a kid. It stuck with me, and that one's always held a special place in my little cold heart. So, yeah.
There's nothing cold about you, David. Nothing whatsoever. Okay. Favorite sports team?
I don't have one.
Cool. Me either.
Yeah, I don't watch sports.
Right.
I played football, basketball, growing up, a little bit of baseball when I was a kid. I just never got into I guess I got burnt out. You know, my dad watches sports all the time. I don't care what time of year it is. He's watching whatever that season is.
Damn.
I mean, dude watches golf. So, I mean, which I love him and he can get excited about it. I just never got into it. And there was always a ball game on. I got burnt out. So I really don't have a favorite team.
Right. Okay. Well, that's understandable. I don't watch sports like that either, but I will sit through an NBA game. I will sit through a football game. Baseball is a little boring. I don't want to offend anybody, but it is a little too slow for my taste. So, and I like hockey.
I'll sit through any sport if I'm there.
Right.
If I go to the game, I enjoy it. That's why I like high school games, to be honest with you.
Mm-hmm.
You know, my oldest daughter, she was what do you call those people? The ones that spin the flags. Ah, crap. They go along with the band, a flag girl or whatever.
Oh, I know what you're talking about. I used to be.
You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
And so my oldest used to do that, and I don't know why the name escapes me, but so I went to every game every Friday night, watch it, and I still say that of all the baseball, all the football games out there, I still am a fan of high school football because it's just it's real.
Mm-hmm.
It's not like they're playing for money.
Exactly.
Especially in my little town, they just play because they like to play.
Mm-hmm.
Ain't no college scouts coming down to Pulaski. I mean,
so crazy.
So I mean, yeah, I guess if you want to know my favorite team, it'd be the Richland Raiders of Linville, Tennessee.
Aw, well, that's nice.
Oh wait, let me back that up. The Richland Raider flag football team because I'm the head coach this year. So.
Oh, you gonna be the head coach of them?
Yeah, last year I got talked into being assistant coach for I got 3 foster kids.
Cool.
And the middle one, he's 4, so he was on the flag football team.
Mm-hmm.
And the head coach quit, so I got talked into being head coach this year.
Wow. Well, that's good. I think they'll enjoy your presence there.
Oh, I've learned how much patience I don't have, but
I know that's right.
It's like trying to herd cats in a thunderstorm to get them to do anything.
Who you said trying to hurt cats in a thunderstorm?
Yeah.
It was so funny and random. Okay, favorite music artist?
Oh God, which genre?
Let's say R&B.
Boyz II Men.
Ooh, nice.
I just gotta say it, Boyz II Men. I loved them growing up and listened to them a lot. But man, that's a hard question though.
It is.
But I mean, you talking? Damn it, because then you got Percy Sledge, and that would be a tie between those two, I guess.
I never heard of Percy Sledge.
What?
Yeah.
Oh my God! Like When a Man Loves a Woman.
Oh my God. Okay. Well, yeah.
The original, not what's his name, not Michael Bolton. The original. I mean, 'cause, you got Percy. Oh my Lord, woman, you gotta listen to Percy Sledge. He did Dark End of the Street. He did Warm and Tender Love. All them songs. I mean, he makes Barry White. And Barry White ain't nothing compared to Percy Sledge. I don't care what.
Oh wow, I gotta hear him.
Now, don't get me wrong.
More songs.
Now, don't get me wrong. I like Barry White. I like his voice. Always liked his voice. But oh yeah, Percy Sledge. My daddy. I grew up listening to Percy Sledge. I became a big fan. I still love it. He died a few years. Well, not a few years ago. Hell, it's been for a while. But yeah, I mean, Percy Sledge. I wouldn't say that he beats Boyz II Men. Yeah, I'll give him that. That or Larry Graham. He's kind of a one-hit wonder, but Larry Graham was good. He did One in a Million You. That song right there is. I'll tell you something freaky about that song. All right.
Okay.
It was like probably about 10, 12 years ago I heard this song. And it's One in a Million You. I think, or this might be One in a Million by Larry Graham. And I don't know why, but that song hit me. It struck a chord with me, and it's like I knew every word of that song. I never heard it before. So I go up to my daddy, because my daddy listened to a whole bunch of Motown, R&B type stuff from back in the day. And I was like, Dad, did you play this song a lot? And and I told him the title, and I started playing on my phone. And he just sat there for me. He said, son, he goes, I have not heard that song since before me and your mama were dating. So I was like, what the hell? That was weird. It was just weird to me. I was like, wait. He's like, he said, when they started dating, when they were dating before I was, born and stuff, they go out to Pizza Hut, and Pizza Hut used to have them little jukeboxes that you could play on the table.
Right.
And he'd play that song every time they went to Pizza Hut. And so, yeah, it kind of freaked me out a little bit. So, I don't know. It's weird. But, yeah, Larry Graham, Percy Sledge.
You were conceived off that song.
Probably. Right there on the daggone Pizza Hut table, man. I swear.
Oh, bro, for real. That's like eerie. Dang.
Yeah, it's kind of weird to me. It freaked me out a little bit.
Yeah, that would freak me out, too. Okay. One more question I'd like for you to answer. How important do you think numbers play into your show as far as followers and downloads and plays are concerned?
I'll look at it every now and then, and when I hit a milestone, I'll thank everybody for it. Like, if I hit, like when I hit the 5,000 download, 10,000 download, whatever, just to let my audience know that I appreciate them. But like my followers on Instagram, I ain't got that many. I figure if it's meant to be, it'll be. If you're putting out stuff that's out there as far as what people want to hear, you'll get the downloads. But I don't let it affect my show.
Right.
If I start to see, something dropping off, I might ask my audience, am I missing something? Like, I got a couple of supporters that I'll reach out to for their input, because I feel like if somebody supports you monetarily, then that means they really, really are a fan of the show. Mm-hmm. And their input matters to me more than anybody else's, and I hate to say that. Mm-hmm. But, I won't let them tell me which direction the show goes, because, it's not like I got ads. But, I'll reach out to them and be like, hey, I've noticed my listens have gone down. Is there something I'm doing wrong? Something you'd like to see? Something like that. And if they tell me, something, like for instance, well, there's just too much crap going on in the world right now. People probably aren't listening, or, you're not being very consistent, or content's kind of the same thing every time. Then, yeah, adjust yourself, but don't change yourself. You know what I'm saying?
I like that. Adjust yourself, but don't change yourself.
Yeah, I just made that shit up.
Yeah, that was wrong. Yeah, that was dope. I like that. Okay, so David, shout out some of your favorite podcasters right now and tell the people where they can listen to your show. Okay.
Well, it depends on what you're looking for. If you're looking for political stuff, I have to shout out my network, the MLGA Network. You can find them at mlganetwork.com. It's got shows like, if you're into like, what happened at, say, Ruby Ridge or Waco, Texas with the Davidian complex, stuff like that. Mm-hmm. Check out the podcast Make Liberty Great Again. Mm-hmm. He did a series he called the Red Pill series that he covered Waco in like 3 episodes. And when Waco happened when I was a kid, it pissed me off. And his show pissed me off all over again. So, Make Liberty Great Again. They got Voluntary Vixens, 2 female hosts, Jesse and Maddie. Love them. Shout out to them. Of course, you got a whole bunch you got Techno Agris, you got Thank You for Your Servers, all of them on the MLGA Network. If you're looking for comedy, I like the No Agenda Show. That was probably the first podcast I had ever listened to, and I still listen to. They take things that are going on in the news and they deconstruct them. Like you might hear something on the news and they cover a topic for about 5 minutes, if that. This show takes things that are going on in the news and they dig deep. They dig real deep into what the motivations behind what's going on, stuff like that. Like, for instance, I'll give you a little thing they talk about. They talk about the FBI 6-week cycle. And what that is like, to make the FBI seem like they're still needed, every 6 weeks they'll do something and make a bust or something like that makes them seem needed. But some of them are actually set up by the FBI, like a sting operation. Like they'll like, for instance, one of the big ones is finding your homegrown terrorists. Like they'll find somebody that's a little mentally unstable.
Yep.
Maybe got some leanings but I mean, as in mentally unstable, I mean like they got a mental problem.
Oh no.
And easily influenced. And what they'll do is they'll amp them up. Get them ready to go do something. Tell them, hey, I got this. You can go, go kill a whole bunch of people with this bomb, but it's not really a bomb. It's like fake. And all they need is that person to go, yeah, I'll go do it. And they go out and they try to blow up the bomb, but it doesn't blow up and they get busted by the FBI.
Wow.
It's stuff like that. And they have everything. Seems like every 6 weeks they do something. And they don't really talk about it on the news that much, but it's out there. to the No Agenda Show. I'll give them a shout out. Of course, I got to give our boy, the Truth Disciple, a shout out.
For sure.
Oh man, his last one was good.
It really was Gaddafi.
I mean, and I mentioned about that too. I was like, dude, I said that's the U.S. government for you.
Yep.
We do messed up things to other countries just because it's not in the pursuit of our freedoms or our liberties. It is in pursuit of the U.S. government's national interest.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and that's why I always look at that. I'm like, you want to stop using our money? No, that's what happened to Saddam Hussein. That's what I told him. I said, we put Saddam Hussein in power. But then when he was like, I'm going to stop using the American dollar, on the oil market, we're like, no, we can't have that shit. All the stuff that we said we went and got him for, he's been doing for a long time. But we all of a sudden have a problem with it because he's not going to bend our will no more. So we go get his ass.
Right.
I mean, don't get me started on the government.
No, that's okay. I'm just like, it's okay. Well, okay. So you told everybody where they can find your podcast show?
You can find The Morning Drive with David on Spotify, pretty much anywhere. Just look it up. You can find me at, of course, MLGAnetwork.com. I think I even have my own website. It's Drive with David drivewithdavid.com maybe. I don't know. I can't remember. I usually just tell people to go to the network page or Spotify or whatever podcast listener they listen to. You can find me on there. You can find me on Instagram, of course, the Morning Drive Podcast, Twitter at Drive with David, Facebook. I don't really do much on there, but you can find me at the Morning Drive, and I think that's about it. Yeah, I think that's about it.
Okay, cool.
Wait. And I got TikTok now. Oh my God.
Oh, you got TikTok? Cool.
Oh God. I know. I went on a rant about ramen noodles or some shit. I was going off about something, and my kids were like, "You need a TikTok, Dad." I'm like, "I'm not a 13-year-old girl. I'm not getting a TikTok." And they kept pushing me, so I finally got it. And I'm gonna tell you, if you don't have a TikTok, don't get one. They're very addictive. It's not right. I don't know what it is. It's about little 1-minute videos, but you'll flip through them. Just, some stupid shit on there, but it's retarded.
I'm going to try to check it out just because you said that.
Well, fine. All you got to do is look up your_Southern Uncle.
Your_Southern Uncle. That's it.
Yeah, your underscore, little underscore.
Oh, underscore.
Yeah, your_Southern Uncle. I don't really I ain't talked about my podcast yet on that. I'm trying to see, if people start noticing me because of my TikTok, and then I'll point them toward the podcast.
Great idea. Great promotion tactic.
That's another way to do it. I mean, you got to get out there. And if you get people seeing you, like I didn't have an Instagram, and I would say I probably got most of my followers and listeners from Instagram.
Wow.
Yeah, I tried doing it off of Facebook, but I wouldn't get no traffic.
Right.
And then I got on Instagram. I started talking to people, and people talking to me, and it just grew. And I mean, I'm not saying I'm a Joe Rogan, but I'm very blessed with the people that I have met and talked to.
Yeah, I like that for sure. Well, thank you, David, for stopping by today and telling us about your show. I really appreciate it.
You are very welcome. Thank you for having me on. It's been a long time coming.
Oh, definitely. It really, really has. You guys don't forget to check out The Morning Drive with David. You can find him anywhere, like you said, Spotify and on all other platforms where they do podcasting. Did you want to say anything else, David, before we leave?
Yeah, I just wanted to say that I'm very thankful for you because one, I'm glad you do what you do.
Thank you.
I don't know how much credit you get for that or anything like that, but I'm just saying that I like how you take, because there's been a couple of artists that you had on your show that, I've never heard of, but now I'm fans of.
Cool.
I mean, and you had Fat Bruh on your show. I brought him on mine. Great dude, great music. And I mean, I've been passing his music out. I mean, y'all need to check this dude out. You know what I'm saying?
Wow.
And so, I mean, And that I'm glad you do what you do because you're giving people a chance to get their voice out there. And which is, of course, the title of the show, Speak Your Mind.
Right.
And I'm glad you had, because I'm not your demographic. I'm not, yours is usually circle around music. I ain't got nothing to do with music.
You like it though.
Oh God, yes. So I mean, I'm glad you had me on. And like I said, we've been chit chatting for I don't know how long.
Doesn't it feel like a full year though?
Yeah, I want to say so. I mean, I know it's been you and Truth and me.
Yep, basically.
And I mean, it's like it's this weird little clique that normally wasn't ever a clique.
Right.
You got a music podcast. He does what he does. I mean, I like his show. It's very. I found a new word: eclectic.
Eclectic. Oh, I like that.
I think it's like I can't remember what it means.
Oh man,
It's like you variety.
Yeah, exactly. That's exactly what it is. A variety of different creative things.
Yeah, and so I mean, I appreciate him doing what he does because he does a very interesting show.
He does.
And then me, I'm political. I'm very controversial. A lot of people hate you either hate what I say, or you love what I say, or you agree with some of it.
Oh God.
Probably the most one I ever got any hate off of, and I'm cool with it. I'm cool with getting hate. Is my one about discrimination, and a lot of people hated it, but a lot of people were like, even people that hated it though, they'd come to me and be like, look, I totally disagree with you, this is wrong, and then I would talk to them because they would just, first thing that come out of me, oh, you're just being a racist. Yeah, that's me. Of course, if you call me racist, I probably ain't gonna listen to you. I'm not gonna give you the time of day.
No. Because
you're already trying to be an asshole. And
exactly.
I ain't got time for that.
Exactly.
But it's like our three shows you would never think belong in a clique. But they do. And we all three get along, and that's the reason why I'm thankful for you. I just want to let you know that I'm thankful for you. I'm thankful for Truth.
Me too. And thank you.
Oh yeah.
We're thankful for you too, David. And I know the Truth's not here to speak for himself, but we both are grateful for you, to know you.
Thank you.
You're welcome. That's so funny because that's how me and Truth started off. He was talking about he did the solo on abortion and his take on it, and I was so pissed off. Like I was like, Dad! Like shouting at him through his voice messages on Anchor, and we just laugh about it now. It's just like, well, that's why I brought you on the show, because you had so much to say. I thought we'd do a debate because you kind of was biting my head off there. I'm like, I wasn't biting your head off. I was just speaking.
Oh yeah. I mean, it's like there's another show that I just started listening to. I found them through Facebook. It's called Fuck Your Feelings.
Damn.
Yeah, I know. And I was listening to it, and there's some stuff I agreed with and stuff I didn't agree with. But it's like, that's what you want to do. You want to be on there and be like, look, I want to talk to you. So I just told him on Instagram, I was like, dude, I said, I love your show, but your first episode had me wanting to talk. And so then he was like, well, we need to have you on sometime. We need a guest, So, hey, that might be, and it's not normally something I do, because it's probably something they're going to disagree with me a lot on. But as long as you go to somebody, when you disagree with somebody, as long as you don't come off combative, they ain't going to get defensive. And then you can actually have a conversation. And you might learn a lot, because I speak on my point of view. And if somebody else disagrees and we can talk about it, there might be information I don't have,
Yeah, exactly. You have to have an open mind.
Yeah. I mean, and it's like, you disagree with me, that's cool. But there might be information that you don't have.
Right, exactly.
So you talk to each other, that way you get all the information. And you might come away different, you might not, but at least you're more informed than you were when you went in.
That is so true, very, very true. I definitely agree with you, and that's why we had the debate about the abortion. That's how that episode came up. So it was fun though. Oh, so
that was a good episode. I like that episode.
Yeah, I think everybody liked that episode, even though I had a lot of people disagree with me. I think they just liked the reaction that, the dialogue that was, being thrown back and forth with each other, which is why we have so much great chemistry when we are on air together.
Oh, yeah.
And because I know he's so funny, because he was like, I had to turn off, I had to mute my mic a couple of times to laugh at you. I'm like, damn. I was like, I mean, not laugh at, you know what I mean, right? Because you just talking or whatever.
Oh yeah, most definitely.
It's so funny. I'm like, you are so silly or whatever. I'm like, whatever, man. So we get along like that, and that's pretty cool. Yeah. Okay, so I'm gonna get out of here, David. Thank you again for coming on to the show, and thank you to all the listeners who tune in each and every weekend for some hot music from different artists and special episodes like this geared to the podcast community. If you don't know what's up, you better get on it. All right?
Heck yeah. Heck yeah.
Yes. Well, again, see you guys next week, and peace out and bless up.